Happy Manga Monday! So, I wanted to get this video to you, but I am not home, so we are filming outside. And there's gonna be some mowing noises, kid noises, dog noises, because unfortunately I'm in a neighborhood right now. Unfortunately, I couldn't film before today because I had to read all of these lovely first volumes, all the romance, to share with you all which ones I think are the best of the best. So I have broken them into rounds, and they are competing against each other. The BL versus the GL versus the straights. And I try to group them as like similarly as I could without, having already read them. I just kind of like read 3 at a time thinking these 3 seem similar. So yeah, that's my criteria. It's a new idea I had, so I hope you really like it. If you do, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. So yeah, with that, let's begin round 1. So round 1 is kind of slice of life romance. These are 3 titles that I just felt were really chill, relaxing looking titles, no drama, no tears, just chill vibes. And the first one I read was Takahashi from the Bike Shop. I saw people raving about this one on Instagram, and so I had to pick it up, even though it wasn't an instant like pre-order for me because the cover is just, I don't know, it's not giving for some reason, this first volume. But yeah, I'm glad I picked it up. It's cute, it's got a little age gap, and they are both working adults, which I love. She is 30, I believe he's like 25, 26-ish, so a nice, legal, beautiful age gap where the woman is older. I don't know why, I enjoy it. It's like a little extra fun. And on top of that, Takahashi here is so my like manga guy type, like that giving a delinquent kind of bad boy facade, and even like a little bit in his mannerisms and way of interacting with people, you can come off a bit strong, a bit too much, a bit of a delinquent, so you could see why people might be scared of him or like treat him as a delinquent. But he's got the heart of gold, guys, that like delinquent with all the good energy that you just couldn't resist him, at least I couldn't. So yeah, he's the highlight for me. These two meet when he like approaches her and helps her with her bike, and it just goes from there. It's very cute. It's very like soft romance, like I thought from the onset. It's no drama, just cute vibes. Personally, I like him a lot more than I like her. She's okay. She's not annoying me or anything. But yeah, that's my feelings on this one. I really enjoyed it. Next up, I read Hirano and Kagiura. So this is by the same mangaka as Sasaki and Miyano. I really like Sasaki and Miyano. I think it's soft romance, very fluffy, which is why I had a feeling this was also going to fall in that category. The bad thing to me is it felt too similarly to Sasaki and Miyano, and so I wasn't immersed in these boys' love story. So in this case, they are living together in the dorms, and is a year apart or 2 years, I don't know, and one's older than the other. It's very similar, again, to Sasaki and Miyano because one's the friend of Sasaki. So I didn't dislike it, but I just never felt like fully immersed in it. And the boys just had the same vibe, the same energy as Sasaki and Miyano. Like, I don't know, I would have liked a little bit of a different feel. I don't know, but that could just be me personally because I kept comparing it. I couldn't help myself. I think one that I've really enjoyed that felt very different to me was Hatsukino. I'll put it right here. Anyway, this is 2 volumes. One follows one couple where the other is kind of introduced, and then the second volume follows the other couple. And I just felt like each couple was very distinct and felt very different from each other, and I loved both of them. Where this one, I just felt like they're like a little different flavor. Like it's like vanilla and then like French vanilla. You know what I mean? It's just too similar. But yes, that was my second read, my BL entry. And third, for the girls, I read Futari Escape. I don't know why, the vibes, the art, like it was giving such cute energy. I'd been wanting to pick this one up for a while now, and I finally did, and it is so cute. Like, it's 2 young women. One of them is the senpai of the other one, kind of similar to the last one I just talked about, and they are also living together. They seem to be in a relationship, but I must say there is nothing really romance forward about this one. It is basically just the younger Kohai who works as a mangaka, working on her manga, complaining about working on her manga, or just straight up blowing off work entirely and hanging out with her unemployed girl, enjoying the escape from reality. And like, honestly, I love that. It was such a vibe. I already read volume 2. I am super excited to read more. However, these are supposed to be romance titles, and the romance aspect was lacking. I think they're super cute. I think they have like such effortless, fun energy between them. But it also could very easily come off as just roommates, like, except for that they sleep in the same bed, and that it says it's an adorable Yuri comedy on the back. Like, I don't know, maybe volumes 3 and 4, because I think it's complete at 4 volumes, will give me some more romance. But as of this first volume, it wasn't giving the romance. It was giving me a manga volume I really thoroughly enjoyed, just not for romance. So while initially I did want to say, like, yes, this is my number 1, when I did think about that part of it, I had to put this at number 2, so it was demoted. So number 1 goes to Takahashi from the Bike Shop. I think it's really super solid, setting up a really cute opposites attract kind of romance. And yeah, I'm just really excited for volume 2 to come out. I think it comes out soon. So if any of those tropes or, the premise intrigues you, I definitely think it's a worthwhile pickup. Moving on now to round 2. And this round I would classify as the quote-unquote shoujo round. I didn't look it up if they are actually all shoujo, but they give that energy, and they all are young love stories, first love stories, based in high school. So, similar vibes again, like I said. And I will preface this by saying this was the hardest round for me to judge, because I loved all 3 of them. Like, you cannot go wrong picking up any of these. They are just so cute. They are so good. But out of this group, the first one I read was The Anemone Feels the Heat. Oh my god, the art in this one is so fluffy. It's so stinging fluffy. And this gives me that little bit of enemies to lovers, but not in the sense that they're actually enemies to lovers, but it gives me that little bit of angst, because one of our main girls here, Nagisa, actually ended up missing taking her exam because she was helping a, passed out, ill individual she finds in the middle of the street that just happens to be the sickly Mashiro. And they end up reuniting at the same school, in the same class. And Nagisa has a little resentment. And it's very mature and realistic, honestly, how it's done. Because while she feels, hurt and annoyed by this girl, she also knows it wasn't her fault, and so her decision is that she will come up with a way to like Mashiro. And so they start spending a little more time together, and she still is feeling this resentment bubbling up. Or is that something else? You know, it's giving that like, I want to hate her. I'm convincing myself I hate her energy, but yet I don't think I hate her. And Mashiro's really cute. She's always been sickly and weak, and she hates when people treat her like she's weak, and she just hates that part of her. But she really likes Nagisa and how she treats her, and so cute with a capital C. Like, oh my god, like I really like this one. And the art was the cherry on top. Literally, the art was so fluffy and adorable and just gave me like all the heart squeezy moments, you know. Cannot wait for volume 2 to come out of that one. And then next up, I read the straight romance, Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent. This one had also been highly talked about on the Instagram sphere. So I already had like really wanted to pick this up, but it just didn't happen that I could add it into a pre-order, and just hadn't picked it up. But yeah, I have such a thing for delinquents. Do you not remember round 1 with Takahashi? Like, he's already stolen my heart. The glasses, I love the glasses, and then I love when he takes them off. I just like, he can do no wrong. I think he's great. But of course, our heroine here, Momose, she just wants a peaceful high school life. She went to a delinquent-filled middle school with these rough and rowdy people, and so she wants nothing to do with delinquents. Of course, she ends up in a club with an ex-delinquent. And, you know, it's funny, it's cute, it's definitely Showjo vibes. And there's nothing wrong with that. I literally had such a fun time with them. And like I said, I love Ichikura. Ichikura is so cute. He's such a cutie patootie. And his angry energy is also just so... It's cute when he gets angry too. But I think they're cute together and individually. And last up, I read Nomi X Shiba. So just so you know, this one does have an explicit warning. Nothing explicit really happens in this first volume, but since I did read it online, I know it's kind of cheating, but I wanted to reread it. It'd been such a long time since I'd read it, and my taste could have changed. My opinions, my feelings on it could have definitely changed in the many years it's been since I read it online. But I knew I obviously was going to pick up volume 1 to see, as I remembered it so fondly, but it definitely gets spicy as it goes on. This one is similar to our first BL in the fact that they are rooming together, and they both harbor secret feelings of attraction towards the other, but both has this stupid misunderstanding that the other would absolutely hate to be in a relationship with the other. So the back would have you believe that this, at least first volume, was going to be the type of BL where the guy is like, no, I can't like him. He's got a ding-a-ling, not bazongas. Like, it's giving that energy, but it really doesn't give that energy to me when you read it. But it's very clear that from rooming together, he thinks Shiba's just a really cute person. He just is attracted to him, and he doesn't care that he's a guy. And there's really not that, like, you know, can I overcome this when I'm straight? Can I be gay for this one guy type of energy? I don't always like that kind of energy, you know what I mean? But that's, to me, not the vibe it's giving. There is an actual character in this first volume that is like a, I don't want to say it's a love triangle at all because it's very brief. There is a guy that pops up and is obsessed with Shiba. However, he is convincing himself, or deluding himself really, since this is an all-boys school, that Shiba is actually a girl that's like cross-dressing as a guy, I guess. And they even are like, dude, this isn't a manga, which I always think is stupid when they say that in a manga. But I get the vibe, because it's like, yeah, that would be in a manga where, like, Hana Kimi, where the girl dresses up as a guy to infiltrate a school. But no, he's really a guy. But yeah, cute, a little spicy. It only gets spicier. So yeah, if you're not into the spice, then I wouldn't pick this one up, because it does get exceedingly spicy as the volumes go on. Because, you know, if they're sharing a room together, things will happen. And in this case, I literally have to say both of these are tied for second. Like, I couldn't pick one over the other, and honestly, like, they're all kind of tied for first in my opinion, but I had to actually pick a first, and so I had to give it to Nomi ex Shiba. I felt bad because this is the only BL that easily could be in first place. So I kind of felt like, well, the boys had to get one, right? I guess that's kind of a spoiler, so to speak, for the last 2 rounds. But anyway, moving on to round 3. This round, I guess I kind of chose based on, I thought they seemed more like funny, vibing towards comedy romance, and they all seem like they could get a little raunchy as well, and I was very uncertain about all 3 of them. I had my reservations. So this is like I was cautiously optimistic about these 3 first volumes. First up for this one, I read Monster Marriage Shop. This was gifted to me by a friend because I was a little nervous to pick it up myself, as it's giving ecchi, and it definitely is ecchi throughout. Like, if you there's the parental warning sticker on the back. If you don't like seeing some boobs and butts, like, this isn't for you, and that's totally okay. I'm not 100% sure it's for me, but there was this fun, infectious energy throughout it that I have to say, like, made me smile and chuckle throughout. It is centered around our protagonist, professional matchmaker Yuto, and he has stumbled late one night into Monster Town, where there's all these monsters, obviously, like werewolves, vampires, succubuses, the like. So very fantasy heavy, which I love. I love some fantasy in my romance. Yuto is a weird protagonist. He's got a very weird fixation on his mother. So there are some momcest vibes going on throughout, and he's a very forward and unabashed, like zero shame in those feelings towards his mom, which is, it's something. It's something. And that is probably the reason that I'm like on the fence about it, because it's so like, I don't know how to feel about this, but it also makes for the fun off the wall energy, because a lot of times in these ecchi harem-esque type stories, the main guy is so vanilla. He's so, why do these girls even like him? Which I still am questioning because he's so weird. But he does have a very professionally intellectual mind, so I'm not like so like confused. He's got a way of like seeing into a person, to a woman, core, and kind of figuring out what they might want, and how to go about possibly finding them a partner if that's what they want. And he's got a talent. He's just a really fucking weird person. So yeah, it's strange. It's definitely strange. He's just as weird as everyone around him. Everyone's equally like weird, and they have their own issues. And yeah, it's just very comedy heavy, and definitely a little raunchy and a little harem-y. So yeah, I'm mixed on this one. I didn't dislike it, but I can't say I loved it. I'm hung up on a few things. But I might pick up volume 2 just to see like how I feel moving forward in the series. But yeah, this was a lot. And next up, I read Versus Love. So having read the first couple volumes of Cast Heaven by the same mangaka, I was expecting this to come shrink wrapped. It doesn't. It actually does not have any spice in it. I don't know if more volumes will, because that's kind of what I think of their manga when I think of this mangaka. Very spice forward, very non-con vibes. However, this doesn't give that energy. So you'd think I should like it more, right? No. I will honestly say this is the only title I don't want to continue, and I did not enjoy it. I really did not like the way they set up this romance. A, so forced. It's giving fated mates. I know on the back it says it's a BL take on Romeo and Juliet, and they kind of fall in love like that. I hate that type of romance. Like, you can have them be from the warring school factions of like these two delinquent groups who meet each other without realizing they're like from the other delinquent group, and you know, their friends probably would not like them fraternizing with the enemy, you know? That's enough of a Romeo and Juliet. You don't need them to fall in love like this. You don't need him to break down crying because of a thunderstorm and him immediately be taken with him and think he's just such a cutie patootie. And it's giving, the way it was done just gave me the ick. It gave me the ick. And then I thought, okay, it's fine. It's fine, because like this was their first meeting. It's supposed to be the intrigue that keeps, you know, him looking for the other guy. And then when they have their second meeting, I thought, okay, this will be something. This will give me something. No, it does not give me anything about their personalities. It does not make me like them as individuals, nor as a couple. And I get where they're kind of going with the, like, he's a delinquent leader and he had some trauma in his past and now he can't feel emotions. But then whenever he's with this other guy, he feels the emotions that he's like kept bottled up inside him. It could have just been executed so much better, and it just is like so disappointing, because to me the good things about Cast Heaven, even though I haven't finished it yet, but of what I read, at least 2 or 3 volumes of it, was how interesting I thought her characters were. In this one, these characters are giving two-dimensional. They are giving flat. They are giving that stereotypical top and bottom energy. I am just not here for it. It's so disappointing. This was the most disappointing read. Probably the only one that I really genuinely was just like, I am not feeling this at all. So obviously it's not winning the round, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, moving on, we have my girls love entry. It's all your fault. So this also has an explicit warning. It's more because it gives you some panty shots, some lewd moments. There isn't a relationship between our two bunny girls on the cover yet, by any means. This is actually quite enemies to lovers vibes. She does not like the way certain cosplayers cosplay, relying on sex appeal and, in her mind, degrading the character's, you know, essence, like not acting like the character would. And well, I was nervous about this one because I read Complex Age first volume last year, and I really did not like her energy. Her energy was giving, you cannot break character ever. You cannot even smile for a photo if your character doesn't smile. Like, it was giving such like gatekeepy energy. This didn't give me that feeling though, but that's why it's in this round, because I was very nervous about it doing the same thing. While Shiho here does have her own ideas of like what cosplay is, she just really doesn't seem to like the lewd portrayal of cosplay. She doesn't like using the sex appeal angle, which I have mixed feelings on it, and I think it's really interesting because when she meets Yotogi here, who unbeknownst to her is one of those cosplayers who uses sex appeal, who takes lewd photos, and has a really huge following because of it, she's very determined not to use those same methods to be a cosplayer the way she wants to be true to herself in cosplay and her love of cosplay, which I think is really great because it's kind of showing different ways of cosplaying in the community, and it's also kind of feeling like an exploration, a self-exploration on both of these girls' parts of like how to express your love of characters through cosplay. So I personally really enjoyed this one. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was really cute, a really good setup. Obviously, like I said, there's not any romance because it's very much giving rival energy. Shiho is very against how Yotogi is a cosplayer at the core, but they start cosplaying together. So I think that it's a really cute setup. It's a really cute start, and I think I'll read more for sure, because I love that, like, the dichotomy between the two girls. Cosplay isn't something I do, but I really like this portrayal of it rather than Complex Age. That just wasn't my vibe, so I was worried. But this gives more dress up darling, just like the love of cosplay and the dedication of the people who do it. And even if they do it differently, they still inherently really have love for the art of cosplay, which I think is really cool. So yeah, this is clearly the winner. I had no negative feelings at all about this one, no mixed feelings. I just straight up enjoyed it. Had some great comedy, had some great cute moments, had some great lewd moments. I mean, I think it was a great mix. Will I hope that the romance amps up and they get closer? Obviously. But for now, I think it's a really solid start. Runner-up obviously has to be, I think there's some real weird energy, but also some really funny, different vibes that had me giggling, I have to admit. So, yeah. I think that was obvious because I did not love versus love. I don't know. I'm so curious. If anyone did read this and really enjoyed it, let me know. And maybe it's just because I don't like that, like, instant, like, feelings of love, this instant, like, obsession. But I'm curious if anyone has different opinions on this one, especially. On to the last round, the final round, round 4. So in this round, I would say I tried to read 3 that really gave me like a more, I don't want to say serious, but like more drama, more of a mature vibe, you know, just deeper, maybe story-wise. First I read was probably the least romance, but I will surely keep reading it because it was damn interesting, and that is Jean Bride. So I thought it was going to be about these two you know, people that used to go to school together, and they meet up way later in adulthood, and I thought there was going to be some romance between them, and there very well maybe. But this first volume is much more social commentary, I'd say. Isahaya, our protagonist here, is just, well, it says it on the back, fed up with men, and it really does dive you know, maybe superficially, or at least you could say quickly, into the many, hello goose, I swear, anything and everything. They just landed in the back, because of course they did. Or at least quickly into the many negative aspects about being a woman, the negative ways that men treat women, needing to be ever vigilant as a woman, like the danger of being a woman. Like, it touches on all those things. I think it's very interesting. It's definitely not really giving me romance, kind of like Futari Escapes. I had to disqualify it, kind of, essentially, but it did give me the very mature, very much more drama and deep first volume of a quote-unquote straight romance. Like I said, I don't even know if there will be romance. However, by the end, it had me going, oh my god, this is giving Kowloon energy. Like, this hit me like Kowloon generic romance did. And I hope there is a romance aspect to this, because I would really love that to be explored. However, the weird twist at the end is definitely what's going to keep me hooked and keep me reading, regardless if there's romance in this one. So yeah, really interesting read. Little what seems to be a sci-fi twist at the end, and really recommend it. If you liked Kowloon, you might want to check this one out. My second to last read was Pink Candy Kiss. So I was very surprised to see this is under the Showjo Beat label, which, if I took it just by that, should have put it more in the second round category, or I should have, you know, tossed it in with some more, you know, high school romances. But I knew, based on the back, it did not give that vibe. So it's definitely, to me, not giving shoujo energy. If anything, it would be more josei to me, but it is what it is. Don't take it by the label it was printed under. This is a much more mature look into a possible romance. I'd say all three of these actually ended up fitting into the giving romance energy or a possibility of romance, but teasing you with a romance, and definitely a slower start to all of these, because in this one, after 20 years apart, Takara reconnects with Emma, the girl she nearly kissed in middle school, who's now a beautiful but married woman. They are giving such hot lesbian energy. They are so fuckable. Like, they are both so charming, but I totally get it. Like, Emma has this seductive quality that I'm just like, oh yeah, girl, you are not gonna be able to resist her. Like, and she's giving off these signals, like she really has a thing for Takara. Takara is special to her. She is like, I mean, to me, it's giving signals of she's into her. But obviously, I don't know what's in Emma's mind. But Takara, for her part, we do get some inner monologue in her feelings expressed and thoughts, deep, dark thoughts of how she is irresistibly attracted to Emma. And that mixed with her remembering what had happened in the past in middle school just is making her really want to kiss this girl. And it is, it's giving seductive, it's giving sultry, it's giving, will they? They shouldn't, but I kind of want them to. Like, I don't usually like cheating plots. Like, I don't condone or like when characters or people in real life cheat. However, this one is actually making me go, yes, cheat. And the husband's so cute. He's so cute and affable, and like, I'm torn, but it's so good. Like, it's giving drama and angst and sexy woman energy, and I'm all here for it. Like, I think this was my favorite Yuri of them all, if I have to be honest. Yeah, the art's really nice in this one too as well. This one and Anemone are probably like the prettiest standout art to me personally from all of these reads. And, you know, I definitely add points when the art is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I am swayed by beautiful things. And my final read was Loverboy. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to Eyes Press, who sent me this copy. They actually sent it to me in March, and I just finally got around to reading it. I feel like such a jerk, but I really appreciate you sending it to me. And I was really into this one. I thought, even though I would say this is the one I mentioned not being as mature, it starts off like it kind of gives mature energy, but it's also giving very over the top angsty energy. It somewhat delves into deeper things, but not fully, in my opinion of it, especially not in this first volume. However, I did go online and read the rest of it, so I thought it was a pretty good series. It's only 5 volumes long. Well, it's only going to be 5 volumes long, and I liked what it explored. I didn't always like the way it was explored. But let's just go back to talking about volume 1, shall we? So the tagline of this is right person, wrong time. I'm gonna freaking butcher Korean names. They are worse, they're harder for me than Japanese names. But Eunho is now a college student, but since he was 3 years old, he has been infatuated with Jaeha. I'm so sorry. But his Hyung, like, you know, they have a huge age gap. He is older than Eunho, but Eunho proposed to him when he was a kid, confessed his love when he was like in middle school, and Jaha has always just looked at him like a little brother and given no romantic like feelings whatsoever towards him. And he got married and is now divorced, and he's hooking up with a guy. Currently, when we start this volume, it is very explicit, okay? Explicit. All the smexy times. Though they do the lightsaber ding-dongs, but it's still very explicit. It's very spicy and saucy, and I found it really interesting. I love unrequited feelings. I love that trope of a guy or girl or whoever having this long running crush on someone else, and then them like reuniting and like kind of like hoping for something more, but having it been so long. Yunho is kind of just like afraid to hope for more at this point. So yeah, a lot of complicated, dramatic energy going into this first volume. Super satisfying. Like I said, I went on ahead and read the next 4 volumes online because I was sucked in. I think this is like a very much kind of guilty pleasure, giving me the cliches and the those unrequited feelings, the long suffering crush, all those emotions. They just they tickle my fancy, can't deny it. Definitely a good guilty pleasure type of read. But yeah, I have to give the winner of this final round to Pink Candy Kiss. It was just so good. So tantalizing. So like, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see when. I guess it's just if, but we know it's gonna happen when these girls finally cross that line. Like, just a matter of time in my opinion, but we shall see what transpires. Yeah, so good. Really recommend it. It was a really good read. And honestly, again, like with round 2, I really don't want to choose between these two. If I had to pick one for genuinely being a more interesting, more nuanced, more deep read, I would pick Jean Bride for sure. If I had to choose which one was just sucked me in, and I went ahead and read 4 more volumes of it because it was a fun, guilty pleasure, angsty, emotional read, I would pick this one. And also because it is more romance. For the romance showdown, I guess I would give second place to Loverboy, but just know it is very close. And yeah, with that, we can say for sure that Yuri, winning 2 out of the 4 rounds, is our champion. Give it up for the girls. They're spicy, they're cute, they are the best. It was really, really close with all of them. I literally could have made it a tie by picking glasses and glasses with a chance of delinquent, and it could have been a straight and girl love tie. But honestly, I'd say every single girls love title I read out of the 4 rounds was giving. It was giving. They were so good. Futari Escape, yeah, there wasn't so much romance, but it was giving comedy and cuteness up the wazoo. Anemone Feels the Heat was giving that first love, a little angst, a little like, I don't want to like her, I'm fighting my own feelings of attraction vibes, and the art was immaculate. So even though those 2 didn't win their rounds, they were really, really good reads to me. So I think it's only fair that Yuri wins the showdown. And let me know below what your picks would be to win the rounds. And if you've read any of these, or any straight, gay, anything in between romance that you would like to recommend to me, drop it below. I love my romance. And yeah, that'll do it for this video. I do want to say a huge apology about the Weeb Wednesday videos. If you didn't see my community post and you do tune in for my Wednesday videos, I was really trying to post every other Wednesday. April, I hit a snag, but I thought, I'll pick it back up and I'll get back on track in May. And between my mental health, which I took a nosedive for couple weeks there. Probably couldn't tell because I love talking about manga and always perks me up, but yeah, it was really hard to motivate myself to film or motivate myself to edit, so I didn't get my anime video edited. I don't know when I'll get it edited, to be honest with you, because I don't know what I should do with Weeb Wednesdays moving forward. So if you do have any suggestions, somebody commented do just the second Wednesday of the month. Could be possible. I also thought of moving it to Friday because that would give me a little more time in between my Monday Manga Mondays and my anime videos. So yeah, let me know what you think. I also just don't think that many people care. No offense to those of you who watch, because I am so appreciative of you, genuinely. Like, you mean the world to me. But the views definitely, like, I don't know if people are even interested enough for me to keep doing it. But yeah, drop all your, suggestions, your feelings down below in the comments about that as well. And just a huge thank you for watching today's video. But yeah, until next time, bye!